Across the nation, there have been many discussions about public pensions. Illinois has certainly been singled out and targeted by the media as a state with significant pension funding problems. While the media coverage shares part of the story, we'd like to share with you the details that make up the entire story. Municipal pension funds for police and fire throughout Illinois also have considerable financial issues. To better understand some of these problems, please take the next few minutes to view facts and information from the Illinois Department of Insurance Public Pension Division. How many police and firemen are in the various 650 local pension funds? The numbers shown in these graphs are critical to understanding the pension crisis in Illinois. In 2010, there were 13,218 active officers participating in a police pension fund. That number has increased since 2004 by almost 6%. In other words, the total number of working police officers grew by 745 throughout the municipal jurisdiction in just 7 years' time. That is particularly important when you also view how many pensions are being paid to people drawing benefits in 2010, 8,554, or about 31% more than in 2004. That means that in the same 7 years, retirees being paid a pension grew by 2,032. What's the bottom line? Pensions are growing at a much faster rate than new police officers. If this trend continues, there will soon be a larger retiree population than there are active working police officers. The same issue of growth rate in retirees is also present among firefighters. As of 2010, there were 9,026 active officers participating in a firefighter pension fund. Since 2004, that number has increased by nearly 9%. In just 7 years' time, the number of firefighters grew by 745. Those numbers are important, particularly in comparison to the graph rate in the number of retired firefighters receiving a pension. In 2010, there were 9,026 pensioners, or 27% more than there were in 2004. That means that in those same 7 years, retirees being paid a pension grew by 1,399. The bottom line is much like it was in terms of police officers. If this trend continues the way it is now, there will soon be more retirees than there are active firefighters in Illinois. The overall pension payments to retired police officers and firefighters are escalating at an alarming rate. In 2010, over $650 million was paid to 15,161 retirees from police and fire departments. That is a 75% increase from payments made in 2004, which were $372 million, and the number of police and firefighter retirees was just 11,730. While the number of retired police officers has grown over the last 7 years, so has the amount of pension dollars paid. In 2004, payments were $208,307,976. In 2010, that number has grown drastically to reach $365,478,397. That's a 75% increase, or over $157 million more per year, which will only continue to grow as time progresses. Firefighter retiree numbers have grown over the last 7 years, both in number of people and benefits paid. In 2004, payments to retired firefighters were $163,064,200. In 2010, that number has increased by 75% to a staggering $284,027,338, which means an additional $120 million every year with continued growth. The cost of funding police and firefighter defined benefits plans are paid by 3 sources: active employees, investment returns, and employer contributions. 2 of those sources fluctuate, which can directly affect the employer contributions, while the active employees remain steady in contributing a constant percentage of their pay. The following graphs show the 3 major sources of pension funding from 2004 to 2010. The employee contributions are fairly steady and show growth due to higher individual salaries. As you can see from the trend line, investment returns from year to year can be vastly different. The employer contributions have been on a steady incline and will continue to increase in years to come. The sustainability of a pension fund can be viewed several ways. One method is to look at the funding level. This compares the amount of assets on hand to the total liabilities. In other words, how much of a pension obligation is funded and how much unfunded. The following information shows the statewide funding ratio from 1987 to 2010. It's quite obvious that the funding levels have fallen over the last 10 years in particular.